I came to know Our Lady, and I think coming to know her, reading about her from the lives of the saints and what they had to say about her, obviously in the scriptures, and having made my total consecration to her, I look back at that moment. I was 12 years old, and I look back, and at the time I didn't think much of it, but in retrospect, it was a time when my whole life had changed. It was a turning point in my life, but a very subtle, gentle one, which I think is very much Our Lady's way. And looking back, I can see that she did take over at that point, and she did begin to guide me and lead me in a very gentle, loving way, towards better decisions, but ultimately a training and a learning in what it was to be a true woman. And it took time. There were lots of moments where, I definitely did not exemplify true womanhood. At times I could be very arrogant, and I could be very showy and, very, oh, look at me, along with that arrogance. The fashions at times that I wore, I look back and think, oh my goodness, what was I thinking, But Our Lady was so gentle in showing me that, and even in my behavior at times, that no, April, this is not the way to go. This is not a true woman. This is not what God desires for you. And I have found that, so often in our culture we say, we feel that as a woman we have to be independent, and we have to be strong, and we have to be a go-getter, and we have to be my way. This is what I want to do. Maybe kind of a power trip. And in fact, true womanhood is quite the inverse of that. We aren't called as women to become like the men. We aren't called to become masculine. We are called to become truly feminine, and that means we have to develop characteristics that are yes, strong, but at the same time nurturing, and a humility. Humility is knowing who you truly are. And I think as women, when we come to realize who we truly are, we are able to really sort of thrive and to bloom and to become all that God wants for us as women. He doesn't want this false sense of womanhood. He wants us to really grow into being life givers, teaching our children how to truly love selflessly, to grow in virtue. And that's another big thing. At Franciscan University, we had a household system, and my household was Star of Mary, Stella Mariae. And in it, we really strove to be true women. Many of us had come from different ways of life. Some of us leading very sinful lives. And here we come to this university, and all of a sudden we realize there's a better way, a happier way, a more peaceful, joyful way, a more fulfilling way, a place where we don't have to feel like we have to act a certain way in order to get attention, or we have to do certain things in order to be loved. No, here was the place where we could learn to really be who we were being called to be as women. And so we learned about this idea of the 10 virtues of Our Lady. And we developed a prayer where you use one decade of the rosary, and you pray on each on each bead of that one mystery for a different virtue. Things like divine purity, divine wisdom, heroic patience, constant mental prayer, profound humility. And I think in turning our focus towards these virtues, we realized that the world had so many false ideals for us as women that didn't coincide with this idea of what Mary exemplifies. She's the greatest woman to ever live. And so she should be the one that we look to on what it is to be a true woman. She was a humble handmaid of the Lord, and yet now she's the queen of heaven and earth. There must be something to that way of living, that in being little, we find true joy, but we ultimately find we're able to give God even greater glory.